We are, there you go. Hopefully you can hear me now. This is the first live stream. Very excited to have you guys all here. I hope everything is working nicely and clearly. So if you guys don't have much context of this, I'm basically just gonna be building AI apps live in real time and showing you guys my screen as I do it. So if you're part of the 5-day sprint community, you're already familiar with, let me just check what's going on here. You're already familiar with kind of, what I do, just building AI apps and, showing people how to build them as well. But the most amazing thing is that recently we released the 5-day sprint framework, which is essentially like a simple way to get set up with any project so you can just start building in minutes. And so I've been building projects myself for 15 years now, and there's been every challenge that you can imagine to bring an idea to life. You have to kind of first of all have the idea, then find the right team or agency to put ideas together. You have to then have some sort of a technical understanding of what you want to create, and before AI you would also need to have these developers go away for maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year to actually build these features, and then you're testing them, and then before your idea can even see the light of day, you have to go through this entire process and spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. And now using things like the 5-day sprint framework, Claude Code, Cursor, it's all become super, super easy. And it really kind of, piqued my curiosity a few months ago, especially using Cursor, as I was seeing a lot of people use it, but I was too scared to use these tools myself because they felt very sort of developer oriented. Like you need to have some sort of technical know-how on how to actually use these things. But what I realized very quickly is that you don't. You can be anyone that, as long as you can explain your ideas in natural language, you can just talk to the AI and create any type of application you want. And so everything you're seeing here on this live stream, these titles at the bottom, these were created by vibe coding inside Cursor. So I just spoke to Cursor, which is our development tool, and said, hey, I want to build some titles for my live stream. Here's what I want some live news. I want these logos going across, and you can see right now, it's put that together. And then on the left side, I said, I want to have today's date, and I want to have live times for different parts of the world. It created that for me. And so it just goes to show that all of these things weren't created with any design tools. I didn't design anything. I didn't open up a single design tool at all. There was nothing I did except just talk to this tool and tell it what I wanted. And normally the challenge would be that when you open up something like Cursor, as I'm going to show you in a minute, it's just like a blank canvas by default. And it can be a little bit overwhelming because you don't know where to start. And especially if you haven't built anything before, you don't know what type of frameworks you have to install, what languages do we use. You hear people throw around Python, PHP, and all these different things, but what does any of this even mean? And the great thing is you don't even have to know what any of it means. So my kind of idea with this live stream is that I'm gonna just jump on whenever I'm working on things and I feel I want to share it with you guys. You can jump on and just watch me building. So it's just me on my own. I just set up this live stream because I wanted to just self-produce this thing. I'm just sitting here working, and as you guys are sort of here with me, you can see what's going on and maybe even learn how to do this yourself. And if you guys want to get started, then you can as well, just by going to the link below, which is 5daysprint.com, hit start building. You can get access to the framework and you can just jump on. So if you want to do that now, you can join and start building with me as well inside of your computer, and you can see what's going on. But I hope you guys found this useful. And yeah, it's the first time, so I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't done a live stream before. So I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if we're going to have hiccups. I don't know what a toilet break looks like. I don't know any of this stuff. So we're just going to freestyle it. So first of all, let me just see if I can share my screen with you guys right now. Let's see what we got here. Cool, okay, so we've got a tablet screen here. We don't want that. Let me see if we can just switch this over to use. See, I'm live producing this as right now. As you guys are here, you're seeing me do this. So, okay, so this is our screen. Cool, let me just make sure we're using what we want. Let's go here. Okay, cool. There you go. So that's the first hiccup. Okay, so there you go. You guys can see my browser now, right? Nice, moving around. Cool. So before I get into the 5-day sprint framework itself, which you can get to by going to 5daysprint.com. Let me just move some of these out the way. Really the idea for me was I wanted to make this entire process as easy as just taking an idea from your mind and seeing it come to life. And I know that sounds like too good to be true, but in this space of AI, that's literally how you can build things. And the job I want to do throughout this sort of process of the live stream, and then of course we have the community as well on school, is just, you know, taking away all of that fear and insecurity that we might have about building things, and just kind of make you feel empowered and confident to just take those ideas and bring them to life. Because you can sort of bring an idea to life quicker than you will spend talking to someone else about it, you know. And I heard this quote once, which I thought was, you know, really cool, which said, ideas themselves are quite fragile. And so at the start, when you have an idea, you don't necessarily want to share it with anyone, especially not in the first 24 to 48 hours. And some of you guys might have experienced this, that if you've shared ideas with people, you know, if they're very fragile. So if someone shares something with you, you might feel a bit offended almost straight away because it was your precious idea. And once we realize that our ideas are precious, we can kind of like, you know, hold them a bit closer and then start to play around with them a little bit first to see how we feel about them. And this way of building makes that possible now. So, you know, me, myself, as I'm sure many of you guys too, have ideas all the time, right? And you want to just be able to see it come to life, because there's no better way to actually test it than to see it. Like imagine going to someone and saying, hey, I had this cool idea for this app or this website. And instead of talking about why you think it's going to be great, just whip it out and show them on your laptop or your phone straight away that, oh, I built it. And you can do that in literally a day. And so hopefully throughout this process, you guys get the confidence to do that yourself, and you'll start building applications, and you'll start testing your own ideas, and you'll get better and better as you go. And I'm still very much learning along as I'm going as well, because there's always new things happening in the AI space. There's new models coming out, so much happening, but I'll try and break this stuff down for you as much as possible, and just let you guys in how this stuff works. So here we are on the 5daysprint.com. So what we're first going to do is we're going to go over to new project, and we can set up a fresh project here. So if you see here, it kind of asks you, you know, what you want to build. So this is the point at which you can just start with your idea. You don't have to go into too much detail. You can keep it very like broad, and it will help you build out your idea. So this is an AI process that you're going to go through, and at the end, you're going to get a one-liner, just a one-line output, basically a prompt that you're going to put into Cursor, and that's going to set up our entire project. So there's no worrying about how to write the perfect prompt and, you know, how to do your research, all this type of stuff. It's all baked in for you, and just works beautifully. So the first thing is, where do we even like pick up ideas from? So imagine you're starting from scratch and you're like, well, how do I even come up with an idea? Now, there are plenty of sites where you can do this, look at ideas. Reddit is a great one. So most of you guys might be familiar with Reddit, but if you go to Reddit, you can so often find ideas that people, or problems that people are sharing that they want solutions for. And there's a really cool tool actually called Gummy Search for Reddit. I used to be subscribed to it, but I'm not anymore. But if you go into, let me see if I still have my account. Okay, let's see what happens here. So Gummy Search basically allows you to look inside subreddits, which are basically threads inside Reddit, or you can search for specific things or topics, and it shows you popular pain points or things that people are discussing, and then you can go off and like use those as inspiration maybe to like go and solve a problem and then build an application for it. So this is one example. We won't go into too much detail, but let's just go into something like parents, because it's here. And you can see in here you have all the top kind of, you know, subreddits that you can like just open up. You can see hot discussions, pain and anger, solution requests. So solution requests is like a really cool thing to look at. So it has a sort of AI tool inside Gummy Search, and it shows you the type of things that people are actually asking about. So it says parents are seeking solutions for various challenges, such as finding alternative menstrual products for swimming post-childbirth, creating tools like apps to educate children, which is pretty cool, selecting music players for young kids. See, that's like an interesting niche that maybe otherwise you wouldn't have thought of, like, you know, finding music players for young kids. Like I never would have thought of that. Actually, right now while we're doing this, I'm going to see these titles at the bottom. By the way, I've created an app that I can control, so I can change the titles in real time. So let's change it to researching researching ideas using gummy search. All right, and let's hit that. Let's see. You should see it change on the screen. Nice. All right, there you go. So this was cool. So as I'm doing things, you see it like a live show, like a live news show going on, but it's just a dude in his bedroom, messing about. So you guys can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it as well. That's nice. All right, cool. So so this is like a good way of getting ideas, and then you can kind of like take that and then go deeper. So you can like start researching that in Google. Maybe you can start asking friends and family about it and seeing if that problem actually has validity and if it's something that you even feel passionate about building. But gummy search is a great place to start for ideas. Another cool thing to do is to use Ahrefs. So Ahrefs is basically a tool that has up-to-date information on things that people are searching on search engines like Google and Bing, but also now they have search terms related to AI search, so things that people are searching inside ChatGPT or Claude, for example, which is really cool. And so it actually gives you like a live perspective on the problems that people might be facing, or at least what they're searching, which shows you intent, right? And so search very often is seen as sort of like an intent mechanism. So, if someone types in, I don't know, things to do in London, that's their intent that they're typing in. And then the results that come up are basically the most relevant results for that particular keyword. So of course people can pay to be sponsored and be at the top, but that can cost a lot of money. But now with SEO and especially using AI in SEO, you can start ranking #1 pretty quickly without even needing to hire any agencies or doing that type of stuff. And so I've done that for 2 of my sites. So one of them is bestdubai.com. So you can see here, this orange line shows you the organic growth of the site. So this is organic traffic, organic meaning free traffic. So I'm not paying for any of these visitors to come to this site. I'm just sort of letting it run by itself. So I haven't even tapped into this site maybe for like, I don't know, I want to say like maybe 6-7 months. Like I haven't even been inside the site. I haven't even logged in, nothing. And you just see it just growing by itself, which is very, very fascinating. And then we have another one, which is a recipe site I have called guiltychef.com. And that also is growing pretty organically. So this is doing 12K a month right now in traffic. And then this one is doing about 4K a month in organic traffic. So that means that I've got about 12,000 unique people every month coming to my website through Google, through ChatGPT, and seeing my content, and I'm not even paying anything to bring them in. They're there. People are just coming on and seeing my content because they're finding me on Google. So if you go into right now into Google and type something like, let's say Wagamama crispy chili mushrooms recipe. See, Guilty Chef is the #1 search. This is my website right here. It's come up above Reddit, above Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok. And so there's a myth often people, think that they can't be visible against like big players, right? Like, or you need to have the perfect domain. And guiltychef.com isn't a perfect.com domain. It's Guilty Chef. No one's typing in, excuse me, anything guilty or chef related in a keyword. I don't even have the word recipe in the domain name. So that should give you even greater confidence that you can just go and just build out your ideas without even needing to, have the perfect domain. That reminds me that we actually got to change our thing now, haven't we? To let's change it to we are breaking down. I'm not gonna. Hopefully, it won't be this like janky normally. I probably do need a producer actually, because I'm like trying to spell check like in like tiny letters. Right, let's see. I wrote breaking down C strategies. Imagine that. If someone jumped in, they'd be like, what is this going on here? SEO strategies. All right, let's see if this boy works. Come on, brother. Sort me out. It's not changing. Wait. All right, let's try it. Let's try like this. Otherwise we're gonna be stuck with gummy search the whole session. We don't want that. All right, let's see. Loading. Guys, this is so funny. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, that's why. It logged me out of my own site. Let me log back in. So basically I'm running like the titles through like a different web browser. So this is the first time I'm doing it, so I'm just trying to see how everything works. So, cool. All right, so now let's see if you guys are gonna have to bear with me during this first live stream. Cool. My friend's calling me. Hi, Hanan. He's not calling me. Yeah, can you? Yeah, I know. So let me see. Building AI applications. Can we get this thing to refresh? There we go. Building AI applications. Okay, there. Cool. So funny. So I've got one of my friends basically sitting in his house texting me if anything's wrong with the stream, and he's like, "It's just stuck on Google search." I'm like, "I know, I'm trying to get the titles to work as well." I've got this cool thing where I can just switch between different cameras. So look, I'm like big now, and then I'm small again. Cool. All right, so nice. So you can see here, we're ranking #1. We're also ranking well for like different tourism searches here as well, which is really cool. And so you can see with like Guilty Chef, if I just go to organic keywords, you guys will see that like we're position 1 for like quite a lot of keywords now. And the reason this is cool is because we're not doing anything to rank #1. Like I'm not, all of these searches, you can see #1, all the way down. There's like a few pages of this, just #1, and we're still growing, so we're still moving up in charts. You can see here we moved up 1 position here, 2 positions there, which is great. So it's really cool what's possible. And the reason I'm showing you these types of charts is because this is what you can do by using the 5-day sprint framework that I'm going to show you to build directories of any type, and then use AI to help create your content. And so traditionally what a website like TripAdvisor might do is they would go and get content creators, they'd have to get developers, they have to get SEO strategists, they have to have so many people and probably spending hundreds of millions of dollars to go and rank themselves #1. Now we're at ranking them in Google in some places, and I'm a one-man team, and I've probably spent less than $500 on building the entire thing, which is insane to think that you can get the same level of marketing exposure on certain keywords as like a global company by doing stuff with AI. And other companies that don't catch up, they'll be disrupted by just people sitting in a bedroom like I am building things. And so, you know, again, to empower you guys that, you know, you can do this too. And so SEO is generated, you get sort of these, you know, organic SEO wins by generating your content with AI and having it create all of these pages for you by itself. But the key is not to create just spammy, ridiculous content. Like all your content has to make sense for the context of you know, whatever it is you're you know, building. So Best Dubai is actually a directory of places to visit in Dubai. You can open a place up and it has information about the place, it has a score, it has Google reviews. And so it's actually a useful website for tourists to want to use. And then all of these things here, like the URL, things to do, shopping mall, malls, Dubai Mall, all of these serve as keywords to help us rank in Google. So that's like what you can get in terms of an output and a result. But what's really cool is that to do a lot of this research, you can just go into Ahrefs and just talk to it and just put in keywords and see what comes up. And then you'll start to see the pattern that I'm going to show you of what you need to look for to actually find interesting keywords that are worth targeting. So let's just like, you know, brainstorm something right now. We saw music for kids. I don't want to go into that. Let's say what could we type in? Something like something for movies, books. I don't know, let's type in like, I don't know, something to do with like let's just type in like let's type in toddler for now. Let's see what comes up. See if there's like a parenting solution that people are looking for. So I just went broad at the moment. So what you can do is you can start with like a broad keyword, and then go into related terms or matching terms. So matching terms kind of give you like specific terms related to toddler, but like related would be a bit more, you know, a little bit more broad. And so this is actually a great one. Oh my gosh, look at this. So all right, so look at this toddler bed right here. You can see that right here you have two important columns that we're going to look at. You have KD, which is keyword difficulty, and you have SV, which is search volume. And so keyword difficulty essentially means how hard is it or easy is it to rank for this specific keyword in Google, right? And then search volume is how many people are searching for that keyword per month. And this is United States only. So the global search volume is actually a lot bigger, it's 151K. But the US is a good sort of like indicator because it just has so much, you know, traffic from that one country alone. But if you are doing things like specific within a region, like I was doing a travel directly for Dubai, yes, I was doing like global searches for like tourism, but I also wanted to do local searches. So I would like change this for Dubai or United Arab Emirates for those searches as well. Excuse me. So the reason this is really cool, especially seeing the toddler bed one here, and by the way, I haven't done any of this research before this call, I've just sort of jumped on. Because for keyword difficulty, normally the rule of thumb, excuse me guys, I'm going to be talking so much, my throat is going to have to get used to this as well. The rule of thumb normally is that you want to find a keyword difficulty between 0 and 30, with 0 being the lowest keyword difficulty. So you can see here that 4 is like very low, which means that's a very easy keyword to rank for. And in the search volume, normally you'd say even around 1,000 search volume per month for like, you know, specific search terms is pretty good, because you kind of will still get a lot of volume, and then you'll have a long tail keywords. So like keywords, for example, you have toddler bed, you might have toddler bunk beds or toddler single beds, you know, which you could break off into different, you know, versions of that keyword. But you're getting 78,000 people, not just 1,000, 78,000 people just search that. So let's say I wanted to do that. The first thing I would do is I would go into this site, which you guys should check out, called instantdomainsearch.com. And by the way, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of keyword opportunities like this, where you can just be sitting in Ahrefs all day and just be losing your mind in terms of how exciting it is to find, you know, cool ideas. So this website, jot this down, very, very cool domain website, instantdomainsearch.com. If you jump in here, the cool thing is that you can type a domain name and it'll show you anywhere that it's available, and also your suggestions related to that domain name as well. So if you go to a domain name search, it will only show you like that specific domain, and then maybe a few different like popular suffixes. So like, you know, .co.uk or .net or things like that. But this is really cool because if I type in toddler bed, you'll see that like it shows me a whole series of just like, you know, domains instantly. And so like I can just, and it's very fast to search. So I can like make adjustments to this. If I just add the S, you know, it shows me in real time. So first of all, if toddlerbed.com was available, I would buy that immediately, right? So it's not available, but I would even say to yourself, a lot of the way that we think about pricing and the economics of things in the AI kind of revolution is, you know, we have to kind of, you know, do a 360 with how we've thought about the economics of certain things before and how we price certain things. So with domain names, if you'd see a premium domain name, normally a domain name might be at $10 or $20, right? You might see a premium domain name for $100 and be like, oh, I don't want to pay that. That's like $100, it's more than $10. But let's say now a domain is $1,000. If you're comparing it against a $10 domain, you'll still think, oh, I'm not going to buy that. But then you have to look at the value of the domain based on the research you've done. And so if you look at bestdubai.com, I'll tell you in a minute, but let me search bestsaudi.com, for example. This domain, bestsaudi.com, right here, let me zoom in on that. Look at that number, $98,000, 760. Yeah, that's how much bestsaudi.com is. I have bestdubai.com, which is one of the biggest tourism countries in the world, I think the biggest. And I bought the domain for $1,000, right? So imagine that just next country down, $100,000, and this country, $1,000, that's a snatch, right? And so I took that. I also bought bestabudabi.com. And so I can now build directories for all these different places because I just snatched up the domain. So if you type it, let's say you can get like, I don't know, bestlondon.com, like 13 grand, right? 12 and a half grand. I would buy that. So if you build a directory right now, you could take the entire Guilty Chef, or sorry, Best Dubai framework that is part of 5daysprint.com. So I'm going to be uploading that in there as well as a resource. So you're paying $1,000, $200 a month, whatever it is for the 5-day sprint framework. You're then getting a entire project which is already ranking and working globally, and you're buying a domain for 13 grand, and now you're just making that work for your area or your location, just populating it with your content. And so normally you're setting up a business, and you know, a small business, normally people would maybe get a $10,000 bank loan. You probably, you know, put out maybe 10 grand. If you're opening a shop, physical retail store, you're definitely looking way upwards of that, 50, 100. If you're getting a franchise, more than that as well. So, you know, these are very small investments, and considering the potential upside, it's insane. Like, there's infinite upside in the AI space because, again, looking at these charts, this chart doesn't stop at 4K. It didn't stop at 400 traffic per month in June this year. You know, the next month we're doing 2,000 a month. The next month we're doing 2.8. Now we're about to hit 4, and then we're gonna hit 5. Like, you know, there's infinite upside. Same here with Guilty Chef, infinite upside. And so if you can get in with the right type of domain, the right type of content, it's unlimited what you can do. So if you're taking like traditional retail and stores, you're limited by footfall and traffic because your target is physical people. The beautiful thing about the internet is that it's unlimited. That's why you get the economies of scale and the type of multiples on acquisitions and companies that you see in a tech space, right? The reason Amazon can be bigger than any type of bookstore, multiplied by tech store, multiplied by like Best Buy, you know, Waterstone, Borders, you know, whatever, Walmart, all these type of companies combined. There's no reason, there's no surprise why Amazon is the company it is, because common sense will tell you that they're not limited by the footfall that those companies are being retail first, right? And so here, you're able to attract a global audience. Anyone that has this in their hand can access you. And now using AI SEO, not only can they access you through Google, they can access you through ChatGPT, through Claude. And often people are worrying about SEO, saying, oh, SEO is dead because you're only going to be able to use it with, you know, Google's going to die and you know, ChatGPT is going to come along. No. Google's not going anywhere. But also, everything that you do that I show you would also help you come up in ChatGPT. If you go in ChatGPT and type in the same recipe that I just showed you, the Wagamama's crispy chili mushrooms or whatever, Guilty Chef will be the #1 source for the actual recipe. So let me just show you real quick while we're here. So if I type in, let's add web search here. So put web search on and say, give me a recipe for Wagamama crispy chili mushrooms. So I'm just gonna hit that as a search. So look, watch this. Look, see that right there? Look at every single reference. Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef, The Guardian, Guilty Chef, Guilty Chef. It's insane, all the way down. Guilty Chef, everything's Guilty Chef, right? And the sources, you click on the sources, the #1 source, Guilty Chef, above Guardian, above Reddit, above, look, Pinterest and TikTok, they're all in like the more section. But Guilty Chef is #1. And so it just goes to show you that these same techniques also allow you to be picked up and visible in LLM models like ChatGPT. And so this SEO practice works. And so anyone that's clicking on this, I'm getting traffic. I'm getting traffic from that link, which is allowing me to go higher on that chart. And so I'm also piggybacking off the growth of tools like ChatGPT. So SEO is absolutely not dead. In fact, I would argue it's bigger than ever. And you guys should all get into it. So back to domains. I would buy this, steal. But let's get back to the beds again before I digress. Let's type in toddler beds again. So we can see other examples here. So some of these might not be worth getting. Like, you know, if you were like building a bed company just in like one region, then maybe, but look, toddlers beds, maybe, but still not good enough. Let's keep going. So we can see here as well, look, you got toddler Crocs. That's a pretty cool one. That's not bad. And again, the reason I'm saying these aren't bad is because the cost of building these things is virtually zero, right? Using 5-day sprint framework. And the upside is infinite. And the cost of your time is, you're gonna see right now, it's basically nothing. And so if you could just have just businesses, I built 2 directories, right? I built one, and I was like, can I do it again? I did it again. Okay, cool, so now I can build 1,000. And so boom, 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 you can have all these sites just generating traffic, and then you can decide how you wanna generate revenue off the back of that. Charge subscriptions, exclusive content, you know, sell products, affiliates, memberships, whatever. You know, it's just like I could have an affiliate partnership with Walmart in the US, Tesco in the UK, Carrefour in UAE, whatever I want. And depending on region from where someone is landing from, they could have, when the ingredients come up in a recipe, it could link to that specific store depending on the region they're in. And guess how long it will take me to set that up? Half an hour. In 30 minutes, that entire functionality could be set up. It's insane. Okay, so look, toddler Crocs was cool. So let's say you typed in toddlercrocs.com, right? This is like a retail. There you go. Toddlercrocs.com is available. How much does it cost? Probably like $10. Let's see. $2.99. $2.99. For $2.99, you can buy a domain right now, and you got all of them available. You can buy all of them. You can clean up, yeah, and literally. We're gonna do this. We're actually gonna go build this right now. Before I say that, let me just see if there's anything else that's cool. Just so we have an example of something to build. So by the way, I'm gonna build it. I'm not gonna buy the domain. If one of you wants to buy the domain and then watch me build and then just copy it, you've got the whole playbook and you're good to go, right? So this is cool because if you just open this up, the other cool chart, by the way, is a trend line. So this trend line in search volume, you can see how much your search volume is growing. So it's quite interesting here because clearly this is seasonal. So I wonder if it's around like school time. So May, so it seems like summer each year, there's a uptick in Croc sales or Croc searches because obviously people are probably searching for these. So actually that makes it an even better time right now to build out a toddlercrocs.com site, because if people go and search toddler Crocs, they're likely preparing for a holiday in next May or June. But additionally, if you started it now in August, September today. September, you're giving yourself 6-7 months to be able to start taking off in the charts, in the SEO charts. So you can see here, like I started this site, let's say February, really like it started to take off maybe around like April. So again, yeah, so this year. So this took a little bit longer with Guilty Chef. Sorry, Best to Buy. Guilty Chef was a bit quicker, because Best to Buy is a tourism related site. It's much heavier in terms of competition. But with Guilty Chef, you'll see here, if I started populating content in March, by August, I started at April, May, June, July, or 5 months. So in 5 months, I started to see an uplift, right? And then we were just up from there. And so that gives you plenty of time to get to this spike that's gonna come in here, right? And so you can meet the market at the right time as well. So it'd be a great buy right now. And so if I just type in, let's just type in toddler Crocs and see what comes up. Okay, so you got some sponsored shopping links already. Crocs obviously come up. So it might be difficult to actually compete up against Crocs, but it'll be interesting to see if you can, because I think you could. You could basically just create a directory of comparing toddler Crocs, like sizes and all this type of stuff. And actually, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting excited about this because of what we're going to build in a minute. You could actually build, you could get live data from, yeah, this is crazy. You get live data from actual Crocs' website of all the SKUs they have and compare them between different Crocs, and then have, oh, you're supposed to have a Croc site. cool. So if I went to here, you can see now if we go to like let's go matching terms first. So we can see other keywords. So at this point, you might want to create like some notes or just like keywords that are ranking, just so you're aware of like what type of things are like hot right now. But this is actually a little bit of a gold mine because you got keyword difficulty 0, right? Which means that it's super easy to rank for. However, there is a branded keyword, which means that people are looking for Crocs specifically, right? That brand. But it doesn't mean it will necessarily defeat you ranking up there. It just means that something to bear in mind is that people are looking specifically for that brand itself. So you wouldn't want people to come to the site and start seeing other brands of Crocs or shoes. No, they want Crocs, and so you should make all your content as enriched as possible around that. Crocs toddler girl Crocs. The spike here for something bluey, interesting. So there's a branded one here. So there's a big bluey spike in October last year. Maybe bluey did a drop, which again you can jump on the back of. So sizes. So again, this is really cool. So look, toddler Crocs size 7. So I would have toddlercrocs.com/size/7, and then like a directory at the back of that with like all your toddler Crocs, but basically the URL has size 7 in it. So you just rank in Google for that as well. Cool. So that's pretty cool. Related terms. Yes, this is where you can see like other terms that are like loosely connected to it. So you got Crocs for kids, toddler Crocs, Crocs classics, kid Crocs. Yeah, sick. Right. So let's build it. Let's build something out. Cool. So let's see if this. Oh, it says SEO rich directory. Okay, that didn't make sense, I guess, but I shouldn't have said that. Let's write researching our toddler Crocs project. Nice, did I spell that correctly? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we are gonna go to 5-day sprint. We hit new project, which I've got here, and I'm gonna say toddlercrocs.com will be a site where will be a SEO rich directory for toddler Crocs. I mean, what more do you want me to say? You can add inspiration if you want. So if you see some sites that you like, let's say you've seen a directory or a website that you like the look of, maybe there's like a design you like the look of, you can just add what you like specifically about that right here, or you can add a website URL as well. And it will go ahead and do research for you based on that too. So you can actually give it real examples. So you can just like steal things. So like if I was building a directory and I want it to be like TripAdvisor, I could just put TripAdvisor's URL in there and just sort of copy it. Let's go start research. And now very quickly, you'll go ahead and just do a bit of research for us. And it will suggest some features. So now it's suggesting some features that we might want to integrate into our directory. So let me just check this out real quick. So it gives you like a, sorry, I just got sidetracked for a minute. It's gonna happen. It kind of gives you an overview of your project, so it understands the project straight away. So a comprehensive SEO optimized directory dedicating to showcasing and comparing toddler Crocs footwear. The platform helps parents find, compare, and purchase the perfect Crocs for their little ones through detailed product listings, size guides, and price comparisons. And then this is all, AI generated. So the AI will then go and also suggest features for you to build into your application. So again, it helps with that kind of thought process as well. So directory management. So you want product listings, category organization, size guides. Do you want price tracking, store locations? Store locations is cool, but let's leave it out for now. Search functionality. So what type of things do you want? Color filters, yes. Style categories, I want all of that. SEO features. Yeah, I want content optimization. We'll leave URL. Yes, let's do URL optimization. But even things like schema markup, meta description, and sitemap, like those things normally are like people would go to an agency to just give them this information. And the agency will go and charge them 10, 15, 20 grand a month for the luxury of that information when it's just here on a plate for you, right? Performance tracking, so anything you want to be able to track, content management, cool. And if there's feedback, you can add it here as well. So if I want to add feedback such as, I want to add, affiliate buy now links based on local regional stores. And if I say apply feedback, it will go and just reassess those features without losing the core features that I already wanted, and it will give me more features based on that feedback. So cool. So it's got the same stuff. Now it's added affiliate integration. So regional store APIs, price comparison, buy now links, stock availability, commission tracking. Yeah, cool. So when you're happy, you can just hit continue. And then this part is really cool. So you can add your API keys for specific AI tools to embed AI features into your application. So a small example might be if you wanted to have a croc finder where you can add your child's favorite, interests, or you want your kids to draw a picture of the croc or design their own croc, and they upload it, and you can use OpenAI Vision to analyze that picture and then bring up the best crocs that match that picture, and so they're kind of building their own sort of shoe in a way as well. And you could just add an API key to implement that feature. So you can see here, we get suggestions from 5-day sprint about different features that we can use or integrate using AI. So it says here, optimize website content for higher SEO rankings using Anthropic API key. So absolutely you would want to do that. I'm not gonna add my API key right now, but you like video generation, create video tours or feature toddler Crocs products, automatically generate visuals to enhance directory listings. So like Google just released a really cool image generation model. So you can just add your Google API key, just click here to open up Google Studio, and then get your API key. So it takes you straight there, shows you what to do, get your API key, slap it in, whatever it is, and it will integrate that into your project, and then you can build the feature out in a bit more detail later. So let's just skip that for now. And there's a few instructions here on how to install Cursor and whatever else, which I won't go into too much detail right now. Supabase, this is basically where your database is controlled. So I don't know why I keep changing back to building an SEO rich directory. That's interesting. I need to figure out why the titles keep, because we change the titles. So why do you change the titles back? It might be because I'm on the same site in a different browser. I'll have to figure that out. Interesting. Anyway, so now Supabase, by the way, is where we store our database, right? So a database is, think of it exactly the same as a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, right? So like a Google Sheet has rows and columns, and you can have multiple sheets. So each sheet, think of it as a separate table, right? And inside the table, you have rows and columns. So columns could be, let's say you're creating a users table, right? Just again, very logical. This is what we call sort of systems thinking in a sense. You'll have a column for first name, a column for last name, a column for email, a column for password, etc. And then each row will be its own entry. Same thing with a Crocs directory. Let's say you have a column for product name, size, color, etc., 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 and then a row for every single SKU, meaning every single item ID. So like, pink shoe, size 7, blah, blah, blah. Pink shoe, size 6, blah, 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 with descriptions and whatever else. So that's how you want to think about a database in terms of spreadsheets. So just try and think about that. But Supabase is just a technical way of implementing that into your project. So it has security in there. There are just like ways for it to just like, grab your data in real time. And it works very seamless out of the box with 5-day sprint. And so to set Supabase up, you just need to go to Supabase, create a free account, and set up your project in there. So just create a project. And then when you go into 5-day sprint, you can choose your project. So you'll connect to Supabase through here, and there's some keys that you will need. So I'm just going to use a test one right now. So these are some keys that we need for the project, which are already picked up automatically just by logging into 5-day Supabase via 5-day sprint. It's created a little name for us, Tiny Toes Crocs. It's a really nice name. And you're going to hit generate framework. And now AI is going to go off and it's going to set up the project framework for us. And it's literally as simple as that. So we'll watch that happen now. Cool. And so you can see here, it's set up like a basic directory for us with some of the files we're going to need. And it explains here what you need to do now. So if you've installed Cursor, you will have Cursor here on your app, in your computer, sorry. Let me just create a test app here. So we're going to call it Tiny Toes. Actually, no, let's call it Toddler Crocs. So you just create a folder in your computer and you open it. So basically, what you have now is a blank slate in Cursor. And Cursor simply mirrors the folder structure from your local computer. So in my computer, I create a folder for Toddler Crocs. That's the folder that we have here on the left. But since there's no files in it, there's nothing in there. So just a small example, if I added a file in here called, hello.txt, a text file, and I wrote, hi guys, and I saved it. If I now open up Toddler Crocs, I have hello.txt here, hi guys, right? So it's a complete mirror. So I'm gonna delete the file here and I'll delete the file there, okay? So simple as that. Now, the reason that's cool is because we obviously need to create files for our project to actually work. So again, breaking this all down into like the most simplest format, if you use any application, Facebook, Snapchat, flipping, X.com, whatever it is, any website, TripAdvisor, like I said, Crocs.com, every single website, when the page loads, is essentially as simple as a series of files that are loading from a folder. That's all it is. And those files have a few things inside them. They have the functionality, which is sort of the raw code, saying if this happens or someone clicks this, then do this. You have the user interface, which is the design, which is baked into it, and that's normally in HTML and CSS and JavaScript, so you probably have heard of those words before. And inside of that also you have the database integration, so how it talks to the database. So in this case, Supabase, our spreadsheet, how it goes and fetches the name and displays it on the site. All of that happens inside of a folder. So if you think about, let's say when YouTube sold to Google for whatever it was billions at the time, or when Snapchat sold to Meta for $15 billion, let's say. Effectively, Snapchat handed over to Facebook a folder worth $15 billion, right? In the simplest terms. Now, of course, there's users, there's database, there's all sorts going on, but everything they created in terms of application lived in a folder. So effectively, if Toddler Crocs became a big thing, someone wanted to buy it, we would just copy and paste this folder, give it to them, transaction happens, you sold the company, right? And so that also means that if I build something now, using the 5-day sprint framework, like Guilty Chef, I can just copy, paste, change the content to a new city or region, change the domain name, and now I've got the exact same thing again, which is, again, insane that that's even possible, right? So this is why I'm trying to explain to you guys and show you guys how to build these things, because you yourself become sort of you create these reusable components for yourself. And not only that, forget even the win that you're getting from building something as a project, every single time you type something into Cursor, every single iteration is a win, because you're learning something, you're getting a constant aha moment. It's like the most insane dopamine hit, but like constant. And that's why I'm so engaged with it and so like blown away by it, because every time I'm using it, it's just so thrilling, right? Like you can just create things out of thin air. And again, going back to what I said at the beginning, starting with just an idea, you can build anything. So in the 5-day sprint, all you have to worry about is copying this. So now you've got this one line command, right? And you're gonna go into Cursor, you're gonna paste, and you're gonna hit enter. And that is all you have to do to set up your project. And now you're gonna see this entire thing run, and this part is literally magical. So keep an eye on this. It'll probably take a few minutes to run, and we'll watch as it happens. So what it's first doing is just checking my project. So Cursor has no way of knowing that I did this on 5daysprint.com. But once you add that command, it understands everything. So now it knows everything about my project. It knows what I'm trying to create. It's going to go ahead, it's going to understand all of the requirements that I put into the 5daysprint.com over here. It's going to understand the context of how the project should be built, because me as Omar, who's built 5-Day Sprint, has baked in all of the context and all of the information that you need to build a successful site just from one installation. So here you go, it's just going and setting up now. You'll see on the left side, you'll just start to see files appearing in a minute. So yes, cool. Look at that on the left. It's just created all these files instantly, and this is nothing yet. It's going to create even more. So this is what it's doing right now, is creating what we call a Next.js framework, a foundation. So Next.js is basically going to be like the main library that's going to run our application, which is sort of like the popular industry standard at the moment. So now what it's going to do is it's going to install the design components. It's going to install all of the things that you need. So out of the box, you can start building something. So if you think about it normally, what are all the parts about building a project? Well, you have to go and, let's make sure it's running. You have to normally go and, first of all, you have your idea. You then go and write your idea down. You're going to then, let's just see, does it need me to select something? I think it does, yeah. You're then going to go ahead and, ideate, whiteboard, wireframe, all this type of jargon that people still do. And that's why I'm so against all of that right now. Like, you can just build and find out for yourself quicker than even imagining, right? Like, if the idea hits you in the gut and you're compelled to build it, just do this and build it. And so then another element is like, you're gonna have to wireframe the design. You have to go and hire a designer. Here's what I wanna do. You have to manage that person. He has to create the design. He uses Figma and then he builds it. It's such a long process before you even get to seeing something, right? And as a person with the idea, you just wanna see your idea come to life. And that's all that we're doing here. So even the design is all baked in by default, just by hitting that one line. You don't need anything else. So we install something here called the shadcn component library. So I've baked in all of the libraries that I use as a designer. I've been designing for 15, 16 years now. And there's so many things and tips and tricks that I built up along the way that I'm just, building in here. So you can see here, look, it says as well, let me create personalized landing page for Tiny Toes Crocs project. See, it knows about the project. It knows what we're trying to build here, and it'll just go ahead and set it up for us. So the UI framework we're using is called shadcn. So this is an open source design framework that is beautiful. Like, look at this. You have all of these design elements out of the box, like Stripe level design, all this type of stuff, right? You can build any application. So even just looking at this, you get so many ideas of stuff that you can do. And again, I've been through a whole motion before of like designing things and telling a developer when you press this, I want this animation to go like this, and I want it to be this slow and this smooth and whatever. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you're gonna do is, if you like this dashboard, you're just gonna copy this command here, and you're gonna go into cursor and you're just gonna paste it. And again, it's just like one liner you paste in, and it'll just design this for you immediately, and you can customize it towards your content. And again, if you go to components, you can see all these different components that you have, inputs, beautiful input fields. If you want a one-time password thing, you can have that in your login. If you want a drawer, which is quite cool, like this thing to come up, like a design element, you've got that baked in. So everything is just baked in, and you have all these different color themes, charts, login pages, payment pages, everything just like ready to go straight away. And that is exactly how I actually built the 5-day sprint as well. So everything that you see in here, like look at all these elements, like the menus and everything, this is all built using the shadcn framework. So like the framework that I'm actually giving you is how I actually built the entire thing that I'm showing you in the first place as well. So cool, let's see what's doing. So again, compare this to every step I just told you about, which would take you months to get to a point where you can see something. In a few minutes, you're gonna be able, it's already building our page for us as well. And it's gonna set up basically a framework that we can then start iterating on and then bringing it to life. And then we're gonna do some fun stuff. I wanna see if we can actually scrape live data from the Crocs website, the images and everything, and see if we can actually store that to our own database and then display it on the site and see what we can get from it. It'll be pretty fun to see how far we can get. So let's see what happens here. Let me just see, cool. Can we add open router API key as it gathers all AI with the same Open router. I think you can. I have seen open router. I haven't used it, but I have heard that people are using this just to like connect different APIs. So yeah, absolutely, you can do that. You can just use open router and just choose your API you want to add in. I think this also gives you all the costings and stuff as well. So this is a clean site, by the way. I love this. How nice. Great inspiration. Yeah, you could definitely use that for sure. So let's see. Okay, so installing the hover card and other things for us as well. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far, by the way. Let me just go to big screen because I can. Hope you guys are enjoying this. It's really fun for me, by the way. I'm actually enjoying just building this out and talking to you guys. I'm actually also going to be showing you as I'm building features on the 5-day sprint site itself. So I've got this thing in the site, I'll show you right now, where I'm creating this page called AI tools. So people can see different tools that I use to, just throughout, my experience of building things that are really cool. So it's not quite ready yet. That's why you can't access it publicly. But I created this thing where if I go add new tool, if I type in any website here, so let's just take the one that, what was that? Open router. Am I feeling all right? I can't even spell. Openrouter.ai. Copy this. And then if I go into my tool thing, I paste the URL, I hit analyze tool. Watch this. This is crazy. Watch it. Literally within less than a minute, in fact. It goes off and it researches, scrapes all the information from that website, then understands the design layout of my site, and then creates a page, SEO rich page, ready to be published to my website. Look at this. Crazy. Look at that. It's even picked up the screenshot as well of the site. So it screenshots it. It picks up the logo. It writes a description for me. It gets pricing information. It gets SEO metadata. It writes the SEO for me and shows me what it would look like in Google. Creates FAQs for SEO. And then it creates instructions as well, which we'll see why they're useful in a minute. But if I go ahead and I look at, give me a little preview. And again, I built all this from scratch just by talking in natural language. If I hit publish, watch this. That's all it took. I didn't need to write any content. It's now created a page on my site, Open Router. It's done the SEO, Open Router. It's got the URL there. So you can just imagine now how easy it is to build a directory. Like you can just be throwing content at it and you'll be ranking in no time, right? So look, it shows you how you're gonna install this inside Claude Code. Gives you a little prompt here to run with. It creates a beautiful page, FAQs and everything. It's just so cool, man. Like this still gasses me every time I see it because, and I haven't, by the way, this is V1. Like I haven't even started breaking this down, but the reason I'm showing you guys this is because I'm going to be working on this throughout this week. And as I work on it, I'm gonna be live streaming so you guys can also see me building features out. I see someone asking, what do you think about Lovable versus Cursor? So I think Lovable, Replit, all these tools, serve a specific type of audience, and they're great. Obviously, look, they're humongous companies now, so you can't take away from why they're valuable. But I think it really depends on what type of experience you want, right? And so I would like to think that you guys don't just want to type in something and then not really understand how it's built. I would like to think that you want to understand the technicalities and the systems thinking around how products are put together. Because over the 15 years that I've been building things, the most valuable skill set for me has been knowing how things work, right? Not just having them built. Because if you take a Lovable or a Replit, it serves a purpose for maybe taking an idea and bringing it to life. but I think there's such a big foundational aspect to it, which is actually understanding how things are built, right? Like how are things, like almost like undoing a car and understanding how it's put together. Because when you do that, your skill set becomes so much more valuable. Not only can you go ahead and build your own products, but you can go and solve any problem for anyone. So we have an agency that will do millions of dollars in revenue, where we're able to go to companies and say, hey, we can solve this problem for you using AI, right? And we're talking about the biggest companies in the world who have the resources to build it internally, but will still use someone with the expertise who can do it quickly and do it at a high quality level. And so they will come to us. But that's not possible if I'm only using Lovable and Replit. But it's possible when I understand how systems are built, so I now have a skill that I can go and put a large price tag on, which is effectively 100% margin if you're working by yourself, right? So you guys can make these things possible by picking up these skill sets. So I think like it's insane what's possible just by learning these things. So such a big part of not only 5-day sprint as a framework, but as a community, the resources and videos I'm putting out is because I want everyone to be able to do this, because there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this in today's day and age. What API do you use to scrape data? Yeah, so the API I'm using is called Firecrawl. So we're going to go into it in a bit more detail soon. But if you go to firecrawl.dev, what's going on here? So you can do scrape, you can search, you can crawl data, map data as well. It's really cool. So first of all, the most fire website I've seen in such a long time, by the way. I love their site. It's so sick. What an amazing site. Such an amazing site. It's not perfect. The size of the buttons. Oh my God, what a beautiful website. I love it. Oh, just beyond. Look at it. I would snatch this design and use it for myself, to be honest. What a nice, just what a smart way of designing. How beautiful is that? Look at this. Look at it. I love this so much. Beautiful on mobile too. That's so good. Sick. Anyway, yeah. On this stream, you're gonna catch me geeking out over design for sure. Okay, cool. So yeah, Firecrawl is what we use anyway. All right. So now it's set up the project for us. So let's test it. Let's see what's going on. So what you'll find is a link that you'll get created for you once the installation is run, which is a localhost link. And localhost basically means that it mirrors the content from your that directory on your local computer in the browser. So it's not on a domain yet. So if you give this link to someone else, they can't access your site yet, right? It's only for you to see. But then when you want to actually put it live on the internet, we call that deploying, for which we use Vercel. But we won't get into that too much detail right now. But let's hit localhost. Great, internal server error, no problem. Again, it's a good example of things that can happen. So if you do have something like this, if anything is not as planned, you're just going to take this and tell cursor, I see internal server error. That's it. So even issues you have, it's such a beautiful thing to be able to have these problems, because you just see the problems in real time and you'll be fixing them in real time as well. You know, so you'll just be editing things as you're going. So cool. So you don't really have to understand what's even going on here. Like, it's basically restarting the server, it's clearing the cache, let it do its thing, and you just keep iterating with it until you get what you want. So we should just have a straight fix for us. So cool. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Welcome to Tiny Toes Crocs, a comprehensive SEO optimized directory for toddler Croc shoes with an integrated affiliate purchasing options. This platform helps parents find and compare Crocs for toddlers with detailed size guides, regional pricing, and direct purchase links to local retailers. And now if you go to view component showcase, look, it just shows you what type of like UI elements you've got pre-installed. Look, it's even created some like example. Look, oh, so cool. So yeah, it just sets up like a basic interface for you just to see what's possible. If you go to view starter kit, look, it's set up. Hey, this is so crazy. It's set up. Look, by the way, again, let me just really iterate how mad it is that you can just go to 5daysprint.com, set up your project and just copy one line command, open cursor and paste, and the output you get is this. Like, it just built features just by using its own imagination, right? And so we now have a canvas to work off and make things better, but you know, it's a great setup. So look at this: product search, size ranges, price ranges, locations, search products. Obviously, it's not functional yet because we haven't integrated it with a database. Interactive size guides. It's got a size chart if you wanted it. Popular retailers. So like, if you want to go to connect real APIs, we can. It's giving examples of like what it might look like if you actually want to buy it. Let me see what's going on here. Crazy. All right, so that's an example of like it just setting it up, right? So now we have a foundation. Now we can just start building off, okay? And so to build, let me see. You know what's funny is because I'm live streaming from basically my bedroom, and so my wife can't even access it, so she needs some stuff. Let me see what she needs. All right, give me a sec. Let's see. Cool. Just give me a sec. Let me just go grab something. I'll be back with you lot. Okie dokes. This is so funny. I definitely do a studio, don't I? This is the funniest way of working, but it's, hey. Okay. So, tiny toes Crocs. So here's what we want to do now. Let's close some of this stuff. Let me just clear up my workspace. Cool. Let's clear some of this. Now, what we want to do is let's build out a page where we can actually see some Crocs. So let's first go to shadcn. I want to find just a component that I want. So just to create a basic setup. Also, by the way, you should have a login page set up. Let me see if the login page is on here or not. Okay, no, we didn't install that yet. Okay. So let me find, let's browse more blocks. Sidebar. Let's say we want the sidebar 01. So I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to open Claude Code. So where Claude Code comes into it is Claude Code is what we use to actually execute our project. So so Claude, the reason we use Claude Code in the simplest terms is it's just by far the best model for executing code, okay? Now, the important thing to know is that Cursor and Claude Code don't talk to each other. They don't know what each other are doing. Even though it's in the same software called Cursor, Cursor Chat and Claude Code, the only thing they have in common is that they can both see your files, right? So they understand the context of what you're working with. But if you, let's say, ask Cursor to start a task, Claude Code doesn't know it's doing that. If you ask Claude Code to do a task, it doesn't know that Cursor. So they don't. So you have to be able to communicate between them. The beautiful thing is that I've built that into the 5-day sprint framework. So if we ask Cursor to build a feature, for example, it will write us a prompt that we then give to Claude Code. Once Claude Code is executed, it will give us feedback that we can copy and paste that feedback into Cursor so we can check the work. So that's like a healthy way of working. But for the sake of speed, I'm just going to go straight into it and just start building. So I'm going to say create a page called / croc finder using the layout. Cool. Pasted in just a shad CN layout that I wanted. And for new line, I'm pressing Shift and Enter. Let's see. Just create a blank template for now. We will add content after. Okay, so let's see what it does. So now you'll see it just go off and just set up a blank template for us. And so the goal here is where we are right now is that we have nothing but a framework set up, right, on our app. What we want to do now is we're going to start to craft and curate our application to work the way we want it to. And so the tools that you guys have in your toolbox with the 5-day sprint framework are, first of all, the infrastructure is set up, which is months worth of work, is just ready to go. So you have an app with the right framework and coding infrastructure and design interface already ready to go. All you have to do now is take from shadcn the things that you like. All you have to do is add the colors that you want. All you have to do is add the APIs and scrape data and do those type of things to just bring it to life. But again, these are the skills that you want so that not only will you be able to do it for one application, you can do it for any application. Once you're able to do this once, you can do this forever, okay? So, yep, I want it to work. So sometimes Claude will ask you to press like 1 or 2, just like give it some permissions, but cool. So we can see that sidebar component has been added. Great, you can see it's a standard page. So now it's gonna see if it can set it up for us. Yep, so sometimes you only have to give the permissions once. Let's let it run. So is the 5-day sprint only for custom built app, or can you use it to build directory like Best to Buy with Webflow or other CMS? Yeah, you can. So the features of Best to Buy, excuse me, are made using the 5-day sprint framework, but the design was in Webflow. I don't do that anymore because I find it so much quicker to work like this, because you'll see just how fast I build. So my advice would be ditch Webflow, do this. But if you're comfortable with using Webflow, use Webflow for the design, and then what you want to tell Claude Code or Cursor to do is write JavaScript for you to do certain functions. You'll say, create a function in JavaScript that, I don't know, whatever, creates rotating circles on my page. Crappy example, but like that. And it will give you a script and it will embed that in the head code in a Webflow page. So as in custom code. So that's how you do it. But I just don't recommend it, to be honest. For someone who doesn't have any design background, never built anything, in simple terms, what is the difference between Cursor and Claude Code? Cursor is basically a software with the ability to talk to it and to build directly. So you just have a chat here and I can create things for you, like we're doing already. Claude Code, think of it like a plugin or an additional super power that you can add to Cursor, because you're using Claude, which is built by Anthropic, to actually code. And so Claude Code is the industry leading best coding tool. It's just really good at being able to understand what you want and executing it. And so you'll see that now. I'll show you how it works. It says, perfect, I've created a croc finder page using the layout. So let's go to /croc finder. And there, look at that, right off the bat. You've got a beautiful page, just like that, okay? With just like the basic information it had here inside ShadCN, so just copied it for us. So now I can do things like, let's say, move the search. So instead of the sidebar, it will be in the header of the main content area. And again, the cool thing here is, watch this. You can see it happen live. So I'm not touching it right now. And you'll just watch things move, which is the most fun part of building live. So let it do this. Don't worry about if it has errors or whatever, it's fine. If it's stuck on an error, you can just copy and paste the error and it'll fix it. But watch this. You'll just see the search appear here now. I'm not even touching it. I'm having a sip of water while it's building. There you go. Let's paste it here in the header and remove it from here. Great. Now I can say I want it in the center and wider. So literally forget everything you preconceived notions of how complex AI is. Oh, it's only for technical people. Oh, I don't know programming. No. You're just using basic English. You're talking to it like you're in like a lazy just toddler. You know, it's ironic that we're building a toddler site, but yeah, literally, that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. I see so often that people are trying to be too smart, trying to be technical. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be technical. You don't need to be anything. You can just go into it and be lazy. You can be dumb. You can be yourself. You can learn as you're going. I'm not calling you guys dumb, by the way. I'm just saying. Even I myself, I just speak to it being stupid. Like I'm just like, I don't know what this is, do it for me. And it just does it, okay? So cool. We're gonna start here. Now, you can even do cool things like this. So I can say, change the menu, the left nav menu, so that it makes sense within the context of my site. So I can just say that. And so it will go and it will just understand the context of my site, and it will just update the menu to create links that just make sense for my site. So again, that's a lazy version of, instead of sitting there being like, what pages do I want? What do I want to link to? No, just let it do it. But if you do know, great, you can start to go a bit more granular and like get what you want. See, look, how quick was that in real time? Seconds, probably less than 10 seconds from hitting enter to executing. Browse Crocs, all products, classic clogs, fuzzy, size and fit, shopping tools, store locator, parent resources, all this type of stuff. Again, all this stuff could be used to build an SEO rich site. So let's say that we just built our one site, one page for the sake of this demo. So let's say I want to now, let's go into, let's find a table view. So look at these cool charts as well. You can have charts and all sorts, but let's just find a table. So let's go to components, table, and say, we're gonna just say, copy this thing here, npm. Actually, I can even just say, just use ShadCN table to be honest, but let's say I'm gonna do this. Let's say, on the Crocs Finder page, I want you to add a table layout using ShadCN table. Make sure the columns on the table make sense within the context of my project. Add a few rows of dummy data for now. And now let's see what it does. So we just want a table with some basic Crocs information. So what we should also have had now is my credentials from my Superbase project, which is our database. Let's see where that's installed. That how's your env local? Let me check here. Did you set up an env local with my Superbase credentials? Said it did, but I can't find it. Let me see. No. When I try to create this, it says blocked creation because get files. Okay, cool. let's see here. You should have had my Superbase credentials from product. So this is good for me to go through because in the product setup I actually gave it my Superbase credentials, so I'm wondering why it hasn't picked it up. Let's see. Yeah, see, it did have them. There, okay. So it just didn't add the file for us. That's okay. So basically what I'm setting up now is, this is a file called env local, this one here. Now env local is used to allow your site to actually use like use your database and talk to different API keys on the local server. So it doesn't need to be on the live server yet. That will come later on. So cool. I need to provide you with correct. Yeah. Okay, so I was getting confused with which ones. So let me go into my project. What did I use? Game test, didn't I? So let me just give it my credentials right now. So project settings. So project ID was this. API keys. Okay, so anyway, it's created a table for us. That's cool. Got a nice little table now. And now we want to populate that table with real data. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. Okay, so we're gonna go to crocs.com. I'm gonna get Firecrawl API key. So let it install. Yeah, so it's just setting up my credentials. So I'm doing this so that I can talk to the database when I want it to, okay? But we won't worry too much about database right now. I'm just gonna show you how to populate this content. So now if I go to here, to the Crocs page, I'm gonna say to it, go to kids, crocs.com/kids footwear, and scrape, let's say, first, how many are there? 191. Let's just do one for now. Okay, let's just do this shoe. So, let me think about this. What's the best way of doing it? Okay. Now I want you to create a URL. I want to create a single croc page. Template. I'm going to give you my Firecrawl API key, so you can use Firecrawl in terminal to scrape live data and then place this info in the new page you create. So my Firecrawl API key, let's just choose a default one. That's the URL you want. What else? Yeah, you have my Superbase credentials. I'm actually going to go in here. I'm going to create, so in Superbase you have buckets where you can basically store assets. So I'm going to create a new bucket called Crocs Assets, which is basically a folder in your database where you can store things. So I'm going to say you have my Superbase credentials in env local, which you can run in terminal. So all of this, by the way, is like part of kind of the content you're going to get inside the community, but also by watching me build, you'll start to learn how to talk to AI why I'm saying certain things. You'll just be picking up, you know, so you just have it free flowing yourself as well. You have my Supabase credentials in ENV local, which you can run a terminal. We don't need to store any info to DB right now, as we're just building an example page using real data. I do want you to use Supabase to store images that you pick up from the script. Store them in the Crocs asset bucket. Is it public bucket? No. Edit public. Okay. So that means it can be like the content can be viewed publicly when it comes to the live site. Store them in the Crocs asset bucket. What else? Yeah, that's it. Let's just see what it does. So again, like the cool thing with working with this type of these things is like it's an iterative process. Like you don't have to have like the expectation isn't for the page to run and for it to be 100% perfect on first run. It will get it really good and we'll get a great output, but we'll go in there and we'll refine and we'll tweak. So like again, like the table page that is set up for us over here. This is great, but like I might want tweaks here. I might not want this text here. I might want more columns. I might not like the size of the images. I might want real images in there. Like I might not like the actions that's put here, but that's okay. When you're just starting, you want to just give it like an initial prompt to get set up, and then you can go in and refine and like tweak things. So if you notice right now, I haven't set up a database for storing like all these columns and rows for Crocs information. The way I'm working is I'm saying, here's my API key, go and fetch data, create a page for me, create a dummy page for me, but using real data so that I can see what it actually fetches. And then I can say to, okay, based on this now, I like this, I like the sizes, I like this, I like that. How would we now create a database? And I can ask it to help me set up a database, and it will do that as well. So, and then we can connect the live data. So, yeah. So now it's, look here, it's actually going and running. The search is run the file crawl scraper to go and get product data. So we'll let it run, and actually we'll go and get real information. Let that run for a sec. Okay, now it's running the scraper. So what it did is, yeah, it was trying to do a different way. Yeah, here you go. There you go. Let's go pick up the information now. Great. Now let me create a simple script to work with this data and continue building the page. Nice, bro. Yeah, scraping data is so crazy, man. You can just, and then you can also ask like AI to you can just use Anthropic to rewrite content. Like you can just say to take the description, rewrite it for children, rewrite it for parents of, you know, rewriting this language, whatever, like the same way you'd speak to ChatGPT or Claude yourself, you can just give it instructions like that as well. Okay. It's actually quite funny because while it's working, like you're so excited, it's like getting a present. It's like someone giving you a gift, like you're so excited to see what it's going to look like. I think that's why you constantly get that like excitement every time, because to me the feeling is always like that. It's almost like, oh, what have you made? Like, what am I going to see? You know, and I don't quite know what to expect, but it's like, you know, thrilling. Okay, so now it's writing the page for us. So you'll see here as well, you'll start to see pages being built. So like croc finder, croc, so single croc page. So you can see like this is all the code that's running around. Look at this. So all of this code that you're seeing here, it just wrote that right now. So it's like what, 400 lines of code. Look, kids classic clog. It created the page for us. So just finishing it off. But that's what we ask it to do, kids classic clog. So I picked up that. So the URL will be croc and then slug. So it automatically knows that the slug will be, the slug is basically like, you know, / like this bit at the end. This is a slug, croc finder. Or like in here, the slug is, you know, kids classic clog, for example. And so it's doing that same structure for us in our site by itself. So it already knows how to do that type of stuff. So uploading the scraped images to Supabase. So great, so nice, there you go. So it's updating, uploading content to, so we should see it in our bucket if we refresh it. Oh, it created a new bucket. Maybe I misspelled it, but okay, croc asset. So look at this. Look at that. Wild. 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 Bro, it's so mad. It's gonna go every single variation of image from here. I wonder if it's got all the colors as well. Let's see. Or has it only done the black one? Let me close this. Yeah, I think it might have just done black one for now, which is fine if it did. Yeah, because maybe it needs to do per SKU. But see that, like it just took an image. I didn't need to do any copy pasting, removing backgrounds. No, just boom, boom. Take it, throw it into my database. Now I've got it, which means that it's on my URL now. So that means that like this is my database. So this link, get URL, is my image URL from my database, which also means that when my domain is connected up, it'll be my domain name there, which also means that when it goes into Google and you're ranking and someone goes into image search, the croc image that will come up will also be your site, which is another way for people to get to your site. So like all of these things link together. That's why you need to work, you know, with these type of systems in this way, because it all benefits the overall thing. So there, it's done. All right, so let's, here you go. So croc, kids, clog, black. Here's the link. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Every single type of size it just got from here. Oh my gosh. Quantity. Basically have a whole like shopping page if you wanted it. Details, features, sizing, size chart, reviews. Oh my days, look at this. It's crazy. It is mind blowing. It just puts this whole thing together in like. So now you can start doing things like adding your database and saying to, okay, now let's create a database and we can then run it for like, you know, multiple different crocs as well. You know, I can just say to it, now run it for the whole directory and I can just sit back, go for a shower, have some lunch, come back, and you basically pick up every single croc from the website. So yeah, I'm not going to go all into a database right now because the stream will go on forever. But man, that's that was all just from literally just giving it a link and it just scraped all the data and just put it together for us. But hey, there you go. Even the reviews it copied. Look, 4.5, 109 reviews. Ah, my days. It blows my mind every time. Anytime I do something, I get so many ideas every time I build something. So anyway, again, to recap, this I built because someone needs to go and buy kidscrocs.com. Hey, did one of you guys buy it? No, toddler crocs. What was the domain? If one of you snapped it up, well done. Keyword Explorer. Was it Toddler Crocs? It was Toddler Crocs. Someone bought it. One of you guys bought it, and I love you for that. So whoever bought it, show your face. or message me, because that's sick. And I'll send you this as well if you want, by the way. I'll just give you the folder. But yeah, crazy. Toddlercrocs.com. That's how you build it. Basic version of building it. Now you can start to like take it up a notch and edit things. So like, let's say we go in here. I want to like work on the design a bit. I could just say like, let's say you want to make these smaller. I'll say make color options half the size. Boom. Now, I notice only the black color option, color, I notice we only uploaded the black crop images, so when colors change, we don't see other images. We also need other ones. Let's see what it does. Let's see if we can just click through and get to change in different colors. So look, it picked up all the colors. There's still more colors, to be honest. So you can see the color code. So sometimes even if it's scrape, there's like more depth that you can go into. By the way, scraping, you can do things like screenshots, as I showed you before with the AI tools. You can do so much stuff using this. Okay, so it's gonna create a script to upload images for all color variants. So let it run. So now look, downloading and uploading images for each color to Supabase. Bro, there, look at this. Angle 2, angle 3, black, slate gray. Crazy. White. My gosh, man. Oh, this is funny because you guys get to see like what it's like in real time when I'm doing these things. Because I also get that, but this is also where the iteration becomes so fun, because you can just start going out in so many different directions here. And again, all of this started just by going to 5-day sprint, hit a new project, boom, we're in. You have your one-liner, you're cooking. All right, come on, son, let's give us some more colors. So it's probably gonna go and get them, upload them, and then, see look, it's just going and scraping data. Imagine sitting there like copy and pasting all these images, how long it would take. Again, things that people pay someone for before, you don't even need to. I need to do something, I forgot what I was gonna do. My brain. Can't remember. Hey, when that happens. Anyhow. Cool. Okay. Ha! You see this? You see this boy? Oh man, you guys are making me just stay on the stream longer and just build this whole thing out, aren't you? we're gonna end up building a whole Crocs directory. Whoever's got the domain, by the way, if there's someone on the stream, tell me. Just email me omar@5daysprint.com, because I'll just give you the folder if you just want to. Because you can just open this in Cursor and you can just start straight away with everything I've built. All right. So first of all, oh there, boom, boom. Ah! Look at that, bro. Scrape the data. We're active. Look at this. All right, so like, look, watch this now. Watch this. All right, so look, if I go on a gray one and I go to this image, when I go to red, it goes to the first image. So let's try something. Let's say this is where user experience comes into it. So as you're using things, you can just sort of like dream of ideas, even functions that like what I'm going to show you right now, that otherwise would be such a pain in the backside to get done with the developer. And believe me, I've been there. Like something like this, I have so many ideas, especially from a design perspective, that I wish it could do this. And I'm trying to explain to someone, and it has to go into like a project, and then it has to like go into linear, and then they got to like schedule it, and then it eventually gets done, and they're not motivated, and it's just a headache. But I'm like, I just want the feature done. So watch this. Yeah, I click on one color. So look, if I click on a specific image, e.g. image 3 on black, then I change to different color. You can also write in shorthand, by the way. It switches back to first image of that color, but I want it to remain on the same image as the one I was on. See, I don't know what I'm saying. That doesn't make any English sense really, does it? It's just jargon. But I'm like, it will understand my intent. There you go. I'll modify the color change behavior to maintain the current image index when switching colors. So if you are on image 3 of a black and switch to red, you'll stay on image 3 of red. Done. 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 Instantly done. Instant. 3 seconds, maybe. It's bonkers, isn't it? But yeah, just a lot of fun to be had, guys. A lot of fun to be had. So anyway, that's the end of this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that. A little bit of fun, building a Crocs directory. We'll do more of these, man. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm just building things for the 5-day sprint as well, things I'm just working on. And I'll just jump on live whenever. I haven't got specific schedules for this. I'm just gonna be doing it whenever I kind of want to do it. And I kind of, hope that you guys just get value from it and enjoy it. I'm excited to hear your feedback. And let's see where this goes, man. But that's a first live stream with a 5-day sprint. And to get started, guys, all you got to do is jump over to 5daysprint.com, hit start building, jump in, choose if you want the monthly or annual. You get 60% off on the annual. And then you can go into new project, start building, and away you go. In the next hour, you can be building something like this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. I had lots of fun. I'm excited to hear your feedback, and I'll see you again next time.